In this video, I'll share with you 9 stocks that I bought in May 2024. If you're new to my channel, I work as a finance manager at a top tech company with an MBA in finance and a CPA designation. Starting from March 2024, I'm investing $2,000 each month into stocks. $1,000 gets invested into growth and value stocks, and another $1,000 gets invested into dividend stocks. In May 2024, I invested in 5 growth and value stocks and 4 dividend stocks, and I wanted to share my investments with you. So without any further ado, let's start with the growth and value stocks first and go over them one by one. Stock number 1, Tesla. I bought 1 share of the Tesla stock at $171.99. I've already owned 1 share of the Tesla stock in the past at $172.44. So now I own 2 shares of the Tesla stock at $172.22 per share. Tesla is one of those companies whose stock price can fluctuate by a lot over the short term. This means that the stock price is not stable and can either go up or down by a lot. But I'm investing in Tesla mostly because of its long-term potential. Specifically, Tesla is planning to revolutionize the car manufacturing process, making it more effective and efficient to produce new cars. Tesla is promising to create a $25,000 car by 2025, and if they accomplish it, I think the stock price will go up by a lot over the long term. So despite any potential short-term losses, I want to keep my Tesla stocks over the long term to see if the company will be able to accomplish what they're promising. Stock number 2, BYD company. I bought 2 shares of the BYD stock at $57.74 per share, with a total investment of $115.48. BYD company is one of the biggest rivals of Tesla internationally, which is why I decided to invest in it as well. It's like a strategic hedge against Tesla in case if Chinese companies overtake Tesla over the long term. As I've been traveling internationally, I couldn't help but notice how BYD cars are becoming extremely popular outside of the US. I feel like most of my investments so far lacked international exposure and were mainly focused on US companies, which is why I decided to invest in BYD to get that Asian market exposure. Stock number 3, Boeing. I bought 2 shares of the Boeing stock at $177.71 per share, for a total investment of $355.42. I've already owned 1 share of the Boeing stock in the past, but at a way higher price of $203.59. So now I own 3 shares of the Boeing stock at an average cost of $186.34 per share. Despite some of the recent issues with Boeing, including missing airplanes and doors opening mid-flight, I still think that Boeing is a good long-term investment. The main reason for that is the duopoly in the commercial aircraft market. Duopoly means that only 2 companies are dominating the entire market, in this case Boeing and Airbus. Any new company that wants to enter the market would need to spend billions of dollars and years on research and development. As most countries and companies plan to continue buying airplanes from Boeing, I think it's a good sign about Boeing's potential strong revenue performance in the future. Historically, the price of the Boeing stock has been trading for more than double its current price, so I know that I'm not buying the company at its all-time high. Also, in May 2024, Boeing is planning to send people into the space for the first time in a while, which could also increase the stock price. Stock number 4, Disney. I bought 1 share of the Disney stock at $105.68. I've already owned 1 share of the Disney stock in the past at $111.47. So now I have 2 shares of Disney at an average cost of $108.58. Disney as a company has been facing several different issues recently. These include declining foot traffic at its theme parks, fewer Disney Plus subscribers, some movies that lost money, and an uncertainty about the direction of many of its portfolio companies. Regardless of these many issues, I think the company is a good long-term investment, and I'll keep buying the stock if it continues to go down in price. I think the company has opportunities to bounce back as their stock has been trading at almost $200 a few years back. The company's theme parks are still one of the dream destinations for children, and families save a lot of money to be able to visit it at least once in their lifetime. ESPN, which is owned by Disney, also continues to be a top destination for sports fans to watch their favorite teams and players, and for the sports analysis. Lastly, Disney owns a lot of different intellectual property, which will continue making billions of dollars for the company forever, and will fund any new exciting business venture that Disney wants to start. Stock number 5, Shopify. I bought 4 shares of the Shopify stock at $62.23 per share for a total investment of $248.90. I've already owned 2 shares of the Shopify stock in the past at $77.19. So now I have 6 shares in total at an average cost of $67.21 per share. So why did I invest in Shopify? Shopify is continuing to dominate its competitors with their tools and services of opening online stores. There is no other company as good as Shopify there, which almost results in a sort of monopoly for the company. As more and more businesses are moving online each year and choose Shopify, Shopify's revenues continue to go up because they sell more and more subscriptions. So overall, this level of market dominance in the growing industry is what made me want to invest in Shopify, despite not so favorable recent guidance released by the company. So these were 5 growth and value stocks that I purchased in May 2024. Now let's go over the 4 dividend stocks that I also purchased this month, one by one. Stock number 6, Verizon. I bought 6 shares of the Verizon stock at $39.90 per share for a total investment of $239.40. I've already owned 6 shares of the Verizon stock in the past at $40.02 per share. So now I have 12 shares in total at an average cost of $39.96 per share. Verizon has a dividend yield of 6.6%, which means that the company will pay me $6.60 per year for every $100 I have invested in their stock. I'm very bullish about Verizon due to their fiber optic network and their focus on having the best technology. I personally use Verizon for my Wi-Fi at home and have not been happier. It has the best internet strength and service out of any other provider that I've tested in the past. If I'm a satisfied customer of a certain company, it makes me more willing to become its investor as well. Also, a massive dividend yield of 6.6% that Verizon pays is a huge incentive for me to invest in the company. Stock number 7, BP. I bought 5 shares of the BP stock at $38.12 per share for a total investment of $190.60. The company has a dividend yield of 4.6%, which means that they'll pay me $4.60 for every $100 I have invested in their stock. The main reason for why I invested in BP was to diversify my stock portfolio and get exposure in the oil and gas sector. None of my previous investments were in the oil and gas sector, so investing in BP was a hedge against market fluctuations in other sectors. As an investor looking for diversification, it's important to invest in as many sectors as possible to mitigate risks. Additionally, BP's global presence, diversified operations, and a 4.6% dividend yield made me want to add BP to my dividend stock portfolio. Stock number 8, Clorox. I bought 2 shares of the Clorox stock at $143.35 per share for a total investment of $286.70. Clorox has a dividend yield of 3.4%, which means that the company will pay me $3.40 for every $100 I have in their stock. Clorox is one of those examples of companies that you invest in because you are a customer. My family and I have many different products from Clorox at our home. I also like to invest in companies that don't rely on the success of just a single product for the company's entire success. Clorox owns many different successful brands that even if some of them become bankrupt in the future, the company will not struggle because of the number of different products that they offer. Also, the annual revenue of Clorox has been growing relatively steadily over the past 10 years, which is a good sign to me about the company's current performance and future potential. And stock number 9, Stanley Black & Decker. I bought 3 shares of the company's stock at $89.25 per share for a total investment of $267.75. The company has a dividend yield of 3.6%, which means that they'll pay me $3.60 for every $100 I have invested in their stock. Stanley Black & Decker is another example of a company that I personally use. Also, the company has a variety of different successful brands under its ownership, and the revenues of the company over the past 10 years have either been stable or growing. From my past investments, I didn't have much exposure to industrial or household tools companies, so I decided to invest in Stanley Black & Decker for diversification purposes. So overall, in May 2024, I ended up investing $1,981.92 across 9 different companies. 5 of the companies are a part of my growth and value stock portfolio, and another 4 companies are a part of my dividend stock portfolio. Each month, I'm also making videos to update you how my stocks are performing so far, so make sure to check out those videos as well. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.